All right, we're back on Portland. Let's see if that works. Beach is going to join me.
Yeah.
You're really looking forward to this game too, I remember.
Was, yeah. I wanted even a chance to play it at PAX, and the line was so huge at PAX West that I was like, well, I guess I'm not getting around to that. So it was just like, well, maybe when it comes out I'll have a chance to play it. Who knows?
All right. Well, so far we haven't dropped any frames. Maybe we lucked out with Portland.
Yeah, that'd be awesome. Good old Portland.
Safari Man has subbed. Thank you. For the 13th month. Holy moly. And then just before that, Master Toenail resubbed for the 5th month.
Welcome back to you both.
Okay, so far no dropped frames.
That seems really good.
Okay, so where the water tastes like wine is kind of how would you even classify it?
It's like American mythology.
Yeah.
Is how I thought about it, is that it's like these are the stories that nobody ever heard about. But it's like supposed to be southeastern United States.
Well, actually, you start off in the Northeast.
Oh, you do? Okay.
Yeah. So, and the there are regions in the game where, like, you cross a region, the music changes, but the overall quality of storytelling or the character of storytelling is kind of distinct in each one.
Okay.
Like, New England is very like lots of ghost stories.
Right.
And it's very kind of like foreboding, and the Midwest is very kind of like, down to earth and hardy.
Yeah, okay.
And then like, we'll show you. The concept is that you are wandering the United States, collecting people's stories, trading them with other people, and watching them grow and develop into from storytelling, from essentially what might be like small scale journalism.
Right.
Into folklore and then into myth.
Okay.
So it's really cool. I started a game on my home stream last week, and I played it for a little bit because this game launched on Wednesday, I think.
Yes.
So we're going to play it here. I'm just going to pave that save because I got like an hour into it.
Okay. If you don't mind.
Yeah, no, not at all.
Cool.
And then... Yeah, actually, if you want to also...
Oh, yeah, we'll have to change to the other thing, won't we?
I think right corner is probably fine.
Off to a great start.
Everything's awesome.
Okay.
Refresh the input.
Yeah. Let's see here. Have you had to do this before?
No. Well, sometimes.
All right. Where's it pulling from? It's pulling from video.
Okay. Well, that gives me a chance to like
Clean
reset
up a little bit.
Yeah.
That sounds good. All right. It just literally says there's no signal there. Maybe I'll.
I guess it's the
probably the box.
Yeah, probably the box.
I will twiddle the box.
Twiddle the box. Twiddle that box. Which is curious because we're also not getting anything from game audio.
We don't. It's not seeing any input at all. So game audio's. If game audio is not coming through, then there's something wrong with where the input should be coming from.
Yeah.
But we played stuff successfully in here yesterday, didn't we? Did we? No, because
on the gaming PC.
It was Checkpoint yesterday, and then it was Dice Friends, which means we weren't in Studio A yesterday at all.
What about Rhythm Cafe?
Rhythm Cafe had no problems, but they were playing a Switch game. Let's just see if the Switch actually starts up. Okay, that worked.
Okay, the Switch is working.
Great. We don't
Which
need
is
it
not
to.
nothing.
Yeah, we just don't need it to. Let's see here. Okay, so that can't figure its life out. That sucks. Yeah, we should definitely be getting audio too.
Yeah. All right, well, let's see if let's go for the dumbest solution first. Is the gaming PC actually hooked up?
Oh yeah, that's
because we took it all apart for the LAN.
right.
Well, there's the HDMI.
Okay. Which one is that? Is it black or is it?
It's this one.
Is that one there? So this one here.
Yep.
Thank you. Alright. Here's that one.
We're good at this. We're professionals. We've been doing this for 5 years, almost.
Yeah, just about.
Yeah.
Everything was working fine until it got touched.
Mm-hmm.
So
There it goes. Okay.
got there.
Okay. So, it looks like the game is just starting over again.
Okay.
But we're still not getting game audio.
Okay, so that's a symptom of something else. Ow.
Yeah.
Wow. Whew, I got shocked in my ear.
That's no good.
No, that felt really weird. Okay, so you come into there.
Good times.
Audio.
Oh wow, so many resubs here today. There's a, yeah.
Did that hurt?
No, it was good.
Okay.
It was good. Diamond Tiki is resubbed for the 34th month. Senstaku resubbed for the 50th month, saying it's been a while since I resubbed on a cam stream. Also, how have I been doing this for 50 months? I don't know. How have I been doing this for 50 months? Oh my god. Far Too Much Sarcasm resubbed for the 24th month. Happy 2-year anniversary. Icewind Bilbo is resubbed for the 13th month, saying Baker's dozen. I got cake. Congratulations. Lazy Insomniac gave us 100 bits, saying no drop frames and mics are good. Bits for you. Thank you. Two Flower resubbed for the 55th month, saying Cameron, you're inspiring me. Beej, you're okay.
I sure am.
Beej is great. Fisher Knight resubbed for the 6th month, saying Woot, are we starting over or continuing Cam's initial stream? We'll be starting over because I want you to see the entire game, or at least the start of the game. Yeah, maybe play some game music so we know when we've futzed adequately.
Yeah.
Nux CB is resubbed for the 3rd month, saying New Day Beach Day. Green Neva resubbed for the 6th month. Thank you very much. West Coast Stage A resubbed for the 12th month. Happy anniversary, 1-year anniversary. I guess 1-year anniversary is kind of redundant. Happy anniversary. Earthen One is cheered with 51 bits, saying today's stream brought to you by the letter F. And Namely Night resubbed for the 9th month, saying here, take the sub baby and go west, young Cam. Procrastinauts resubbed for the 35th month. Thank you very much. Candy Nuke is a brand new subscriber, as is Ganja Shimada. Welcome, both of you. And Verde has given us 100 bits, saying, boys, this is how professionals act. It's true.
Okay. I'm trying to make sense of this.
Make sure the default audio is correct. Well, that would do it. It's outputting to the monitor.
Oh, okay.
The game is outputting to the monitor.
That's weird. Is it better now? Or not yet?
You should be hearing something. Good suggestion, though. Thank you. That Liam Anthony has resubbed for the 3rd month, saying, got my security clearance for my permanent job. A stream with Cam Beach seems like a good way to celebrate. Well, thank you very much, and congratulations. Agiosaurus resubbed for the 19th month, saying, is it a good thing when your water is the thickness and color of wine? Yes. Might need to restart the game. Alrighty.
That would be a pain in the butt, but sure.
Alright. We're good at things. We're good at things. We're gonna play this game. We're both really excited to play this game. Still no sound.
How does this actually go? I'm chasing a cable right now. Okay, so that goes in there. Okay. Can we hear sound from this PC?
Yes.
Yes, okay. So that means that it's coming through here. Because our headphones are hooked up right to here.
Yes.
So if that's the case,
maybe it's just the game?
does the game not have sound at the
Video.
very beginning?
Show me a video. Preferably something that won't get us muted.
Yeah.
YouTube. What's on our YouTube?
You're getting no audio from... Okay, so audio.
Hopefully our own content won't get us muted. No, we get nothing here. Okay. So there's definitely a disconnect between the gaming PC and something.
Okay. So that would mean that... Just double checking what wires mean what, because this looks
The
like
Windows bleeps were from
we're from our
streaming PC. We have two separate computers.
Yeah. So this is this cable goes to. Okay, so this goes to that fiber thing. Maybe, hang on, maybe I have.
Are we supposed to have an audio cable for the gaming PC?
No, because
Because it should go through DVI, right? Or HDMI?
I think the problem might be. Is there still a video playing at all?
No, but hold on. Boop-be-doo, boop-be-doo.
So into might have selected the wrong thing.
Be's your hero.
1, 2, 3. Why not 4? Why not try that? I have a feeling Paul's gonna just come in here and be like, okay, why did you touch all this?
Yeah. Video's gone.
Good, that's okay. Video should come back now.
Yes, it is. It was.
Okay.
There we go.
Now do we have audio?
No.
No audio, okay. That's really weird. If I unplug this little box, nothing happens yet. And you just plopped right out, which is weird. Okay, we could have audio here. Hang on. Nothing?
Nothing.
Okay. Oh my goodness. The orange one. So
Meant to be a fun community
Holy shit,
engagement piece.
really?
What
It wants it to route it through the monitor.
does it? I mean,
Okay, sure, why not? It works. Let's
sure,
go.
yeah,
Let's go.
Great.
StarCraft can see the other computers on the network, but the printer can't. Nobody cares. Let's go. Got the important part.
That's good.
Okay. Thank you, chat.
We'll maybe figure that out later. Why
Yeah.
it wants to do that.
Yeah,
But for
but
now-
we'll go with it.
Yeah.
Yeah, have you ever had that where you've set up a LAN party and nothing, like computers can't see each other, you're trying to share StarCraft maps and nothing works, like the file directories won't work,
Yeah.
and then you boot up StarCraft and StarCraft can see everything?
And you're just like, okay,
Sure,
screw
why not?
it. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, fine.
StarCraft's
fine.
smart enough to figure it out.
Okay, let's restart the game. Just brutality here. Contingent Cat gave us 50 bits saying, "Goat there."
Thank you, Contingent Cat.
Night has fallen and you're weary from travel. Stars fill the sky above, and in front of you is a brightly lit wooden house, the only building you've seen for days.
Thank you, Kazman20A, for the 100 bits for getting there.
Go to the house.
You walk toward the house, hearing the sounds of laughter and talk as you reach the door and push it open. You sit down and join the game. It's a cheap buy-in, and not many of the other players are very good. The lady fiddling with dice gets good cards, but has no real strategy. The man to your right seems to just hold on to the highest cards he has, regardless of suit or any consideration of matches. The man in gray across from you, though, he's good. He already had the largest pile of coins when you bought in, and while your winnings grow quickly, you can't quite catch him. One by one, the other players leave the table, sometimes with pique or with wry humor, leaving their winnings with you or the man in gray. Finally, it's just you and the man in gray. He looks at you, full of humor, and winks. Last, he deals, you draw, and look at your hand. It's good. It's great. The best hand, in fact. A royal straight flush. Spades. Aces high.
I mean, that is a royal flush. It has to be ace high.
But the man in gray pushes forward his whole pile. You're not sure exactly how much it is, but it's more than you've got. You can't match that.
No.
The man in gray stops you. Now, if you like, I'll let you wager your word. I know you'll be good for it. Just promise you'll pay the debt, however I ask.
You're driving, man. I'm just here to watch.
Let's buy in.
Yeah, okay.
Let's let the game do what it wants to do.
You bet, yeah.
The man in gray smiles. All right, then. I'll call.
I think we got screwed. Did we get screwed?
Maybe.
Well, your luck wasn't so good, was it? That's quite the hand, but not for the game we're playing. I'm afraid you owe me. Your life, sure, but more than that, your labor. You see, this land is built on stories. It's one big story, this country, woven of many small ones. Few of the small ones are strictly true, and the big story is mostly a lie. All the stories and songs and myths and legends start somewhere, with a seed. As they're told and retold and passed around, they grow and change to become the stories we know. To pay your debt to me, you'll be carrying stories, finding the seeds first and then spreading them, telling them onwards so they can begin gaining strength. This is no light task. Stories are heavy. Most of the stories you'll find will be small seeds. They might be true, but they'll grow wild and unbelievable with the telling. The more important stories are the true ones, the ones people will tell you about their own lives. Those often get lost in the weaves of the big story. The more true stories you can find and tell, the more you can weave that truth into the big story. Tarnish it a bit perhaps, but isn't a dingy and battered truth better than a shining lie? Now, go ahead. You tell me a story. I'll trade you some information about your task.
I really love the tarot conceit for
Yeah.
how stories are organized. Well, considering we just got fucked in a game of poker, the tower seems appropriate.
Yeah, I would say so.
By a god.
I mean, certainly. Tell the story of Blackberry City.
Tell the story of the parting of a cloud of fog to reveal a glimpse of the land of promise and plenty. Tell the story of the endless series of doors of different kinds, each leading only to more doors. Tell the story of the northbound train, blinking its giant eyes as it crawls through the night.
I think I just knocked my contact lens out of my eye.
Oh, Jesus.
Is that it?
That's a crumb.
That's a crumb.
Okay.
Okay.
Nobody move.
How the hell did I do that?
I don't know. That can just happen?
Yeah. I just reached up and. Let me just double check it's not actually still like somewhere else in my eye.
Yeah, can it? I guess it can shift around.
Oh, there it is.
Got it?
Got it.
All right.
Okay. I gotta get some juice for it.
All right. I like the one about the story of the doors.
I like that too. Because I don't know where it leads.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess the music is bluegrassy, kind of a more contemporary take on bluegrass. I want to say it also has kind of like a spiritual element to it.
Like the instrumentation of it is really kind of leading me more towards this like classic bluesy kind of.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, let's tell the story about the doors. You tell the story of the endless series of
You
doors.
sometimes have to make choices about what kind of story you're finding. Is it a love story or a tragedy? Don't gather too many of one kind, though. This grand story needs variety.
I like the way he articulated that.
Yeah.
Or enunciated that. There's a grand story needs variety. I like this one as well.
I'll strip away your flesh to make the journey easier, but still you'll feel pain.
All right.
Hunger, weariness, thirst, and despair. They're all part of stories, the part not often told. And death, yes, but don't worry. As long as your task remains, you come back.
So every time we tell a story, the eye marks it.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's been seen. I need to watch Carnival.
Travel? That's your job. Wander from place to place, gather those stories and spread them. People get bored hearing the same stories over and over. But an old cliche in one state might be a rip-roaring new yarn in another. It's just luck. Funny how bad luck seems to follow the folks who already have problems aplenty. Well, try your luck out there in this country. See how the dice treat you. It's not all bad. You'll have to work hard, but I'll give you the gift for seeing the true shapes of people. Not many who can do that. desires? Your greatest wish? Heaven? Big Rock Candy Mountain? El Dorado, the Promised Land, that place just over the ridge where they all say that the water tastes just like the sweetest wine. Well, I don't know where that is. It's supposed to be somewhere in this country. Ask the people you meet. They're all searching for the same thing. Go on your way, seeker. Maybe we'll meet again, or maybe not. Either way, it'll be an experience for you. I'm jealous in some ways. I hope you find what you're looking for.
So here we are.
Yeah. It's strictly a lot more like the music now, because it is a very different tone than what we were just listening to. That I'm like, I wasn't expecting this to be a little more like upbeat. I was expecting this to be very like a lot of like pressure in the story to be like, you have to, don't screw this up kind of deal, right?
Yeah.
It's like, no, it's a lot more, it's lively because the stories can be lively.
Yeah. So we wander around, finding stories.
This bungalow is being ransacked. There's furniture piled in the front yard, ammunition heaped under the mailbox, and a crowd of clean-cut men ripping apart a car in the driveway. The two heavily armed, mud-caked women leaning over the porch railing share the same bored grin. One shouts at you. Lend a couple innocent gals a cigarette?
Sure.
Sure.
You are about to hand her a smoke when those men draw pistols and shove you hard into the dirt. You know these girls? They demand. Once they've dumped your bag out into the road, they decide you're harmless. If you were selling booze too, you'd have a lot more cash, sneers one. On the porch behind him, the two bootleggers are fingering their empty rifles, grinning in disappointment.
Well, I'm gonna cast my stones o'er the waters of this land, and by and by I'll see them.
So yeah, we
far
just
along.
You wander,
Yep.
'Cause when the night
and you have these little moments of interaction, I'm guessing.
Yeah.
my tale, my
And then we
song.
have the option of like sorting stories into usually one of two categories,
Okay.
depending on what we have so far. So we have one story, which went under which category? Where did the story of the bootleggers go? There we go. Under the Emperor. So we have an Emperor story.
It's funny because I've
Off the road and into the woods, you can't help but come across this package by the old tree tied to a sturdy stick. The cloth wrapping conceals, though not particularly well, something large and softly unsettled. Little eyes blink back at you from inside the bundle. The shape gives a start. Please don't tell my pa that I'm in here, it says in a small voice. Pa doesn't want to live with us anymore, but I want to go with him. Don't tell him, please. I'm hiding.
I think his pa knew he was here.
probably. It's interesting that depending on which option you pick, I didn't notice, but the symbol changes.
Yeah.
So
I
the-
think this is King of Cups,
Okay.
and this is I want to say the Fool. Dark Morford. Despite there being the Major Arcana, this is not a Persona game. The Major Arcana are from a thing called the Tarot.
His father must have been here at some point, but you sure can't see him now.
Please go. He's coming back any minute.
Says the boy, growing agitated.
He's gonna see you talking to me. Please, go!
He only calms down when you leave. You don't see another soul for miles.
Also, this is not a JoJo's Bizarre Adventure game. The tarot comes into play in JoJo. Something like the music is really like when it cuts in quite loud for us, but the voices are quite soft.
There was a story over in New Hampshire.
Okay. Wow, the USA-Canada border.
Yeah.
We're not allowed to go over there, are we?
There's nothing in Canada.
Good to know.
Bruno is saying maybe if it sells super well, they can get some DLC made.
Yeah. Big thanks to Guy in Luck, who subscribed for 6 months in a row, saying Candy Mountain, Charlie. The Engineer Rod, cheer with 100 bits. If you excuse me, I'm going to take a nap because the narrator's voice is very soothing. And Lindis123 subscribed for 17 months. Welcome back, Lindis.
By nightfall, the hospitality of this sleepy hamlet, combined with their superstitious tales, has both overstuffed your stomach and filled you with a hollow dread. Folks say these woods are full of apparitions, witches, and worse. You curse yourself for getting on the road so late. In the moonlight, every valley and hollow at the feet of the Tappan Zee seems like a stolen shred of the abyss itself. Fireside tales seem less fanciful, and every cackling crow and moaning whippoorwill seems like a demon perched on the shivering, spindly trees. But something cuts through the noise. The muffled sound of hooves galloping on the cold, muddy road. When he finally slows his horse alongside you, it's as though he had just appeared out of the mist. He's astride a gigantic black courser, and though his boots are muddy and ragged, he wears an immaculate coat with great, shining buttons. From his saddle hangs an antiquated flintlock and a cavalry saber. In the darkness, you can hardly see above his towering shoulders. His voice is a rumbling croak, deep, but as though his throat is filled with thorns. Have you happened upon a cannonball around here? You can tell English isn't his first language. German is. His hand, so pale it's almost blue in the moonlight, grips the reins in a fist.
The fool or the devil? Let's go with the devil.
Yeah,
You mumble an apology.
We're invincible.
it's true.
And watch as he silently rides away, back into the mist. He's cloaked in black, you notice from behind, but the blood running down over his shoulders glints crimson in the moonlight.
Buddy O'Bread subscribed for 18 months in a row. Take my months, you magnificent men. Thank you, Buddy O'Bread.
Oh wow, we're already in Vermont.
Yeah, we are a giant skeleton just walking across the land.
Yes. Striding in a tremendous rampage, city to city. 1,000 feet tall.
I thought this played more like a visual novel and less like this exploration mechanic. So this is surprising to me, but
I'd imagine that the pace of the game is actually quite deliberate. That your walking pace is probably just like a very well considered thing.
Yeah.
All right, made some cash.
Neat.
The hotel is an old manor house that's seen better days. A grand structure surmounted by a gambrel roof that dwarfs the house itself. It's eerily still, but for two boys at play. Each one so small and light, they barely leave tracks in the deep snow.
Both three of Stave's stories. Let's watch the boys play.
Yeah, it sounds good.
They seem old for their size, around 10 years old. Though their clothes are mismatched, they're perfectly identical, down to the pattern of freckles on their pale cheeks. They conduct their games in eerie silence. The clerk
Unsettling.
behind the counter is old, and your room key is worn. But night approaches, and the price is low. Just before you shut the room door, there they are, the twins, staring at you from the corridor. In the morning, as you leave, the clerk asks, "Did you sleep well?"
We could use the three of Stave's story. We already have a devil's story.
Yeah, 3 save story then.
You tell him it was just perfectly fine. You don't mention the small feet trampling outside your door, or the dreams of blood seeping from the bed frame. You don't say that every shadow seemed to contain something vicious and alien, threatening to escape.
Wow.
The snow is turned to a dirty slush that clings to your shoes. On your way to the road, you feel the stare of 4 tiny eyes somewhere in the shadowed eaves of that crooked house.
New story, Silent Twins.
So what do we have so far? Nothing for the Two of Pentacles, nothing for the Star, nothing for the World, nothing for the Lovers, the Wheel, or the High Priestess, or Justice.
Aha.
We have a Fool's story. We have a Three of Staves story. Or sorry, it's the Queen of Cups, excuse me. The Empress, the Tower. I always thought the Devil was about temptation. I've never been really clear on the tarot.
I don't know a lot about it myself.
You come across a girl picking wild blueberries. She smiles and greets you. "Anin." She offers you some from her birch bark basket. You reach in the basket for blueberries, but pull out a handful of small, smooth stones, all the colors of the rainbow. The snickering girl runs into the trees as fast and light as a rabbit. The stones tumble from your hand and hit the ground, instantly turning black as the night. Your heart leaps in surprise. How strange.
Let's head south.
Sure.
Let's go overland. Or actually, let's follow the road, I
Okay.
guess. Devil can also symbolize fear and clinging to things. Okay. Hopelessness and bondage.
As you walk along the river near an unfinished bridge, a man with a tool belt catches sight of you. "Hey, over there," he calls out. "You look like you could use a quick way to get some hard-earned money." Hard-earned is right. The bridge hangs high over a perilous drop.
Sure.
Sure.
"Great," he exclaims. "Suppose you'll want a safety belt. We Thunderbird people don't need 'em. We fly when we fall."
I think these are Mohawk
He
high steel
chuckles.
workers.
Oh, okay. That's not something I've ever heard of before, actually.
Yeah, a lot of Mohawk workers were high steel workers in like New York.
Okay.
A lot of them worked on like the World Trade Center.
Oh, cool.
You find yourself up high, looking over the rushing river that crashes around the foundation of the bridge. As you work side by side, the man mentions, "You can see Thunderbirds up here if you know how to look."
Oh, this was Beth LaPense?
You ask him to explain. "Practice your peripheral vision, if you dare. Last thing you need up here is for them to see you seeing them and come swooping at you," he says laughingly. You only see the clouds thicken. It sure does pass the time working. The man pays you well when you're done with the job.
I got no companion except the wind and the sea.
Let's go south.
Okay.
When I'm gone empty, they're the ones who bury me.
Muddling through the dark, you stumble into the path of the white deer. Its beauty strikes you at once. It is something otherworldly, beyond borders. A moon swimming in the void. Human shouts not far away break the spell. The deer's ears prick up. This thing is being hunted.
I think we just watched this one.
Mm-hmm.
You stay quiet while the hunters seem to near. You could swear, seeing subtle changes pass over the deer's face, that the animal is listening to the hunter's cries, thinking them over. After a moment, you watch it walk decisively down to the train tracks and lie there. It doesn't have to wait long.
Huh.
Well, I'm gonna scrawl my name on the bare bones of the earth.
Some things are just meant to happen, I guess.
My heels into the ground.
But it made its choice. It's like, it'll be on my terms, not yours.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The school's sports shed is unlocked, so you bed down on the piled football pads. You're soon woken by a teacher dragging in a bag of dirty baseball bases. "Don't mind me," he laughs. "Just be gone by the morning, okay?" You keep your promise and get a full night's sleep in comfort.
Nice.
Well, I'm gonna heft my spade up upon my weary back. I'm gonna keep that stride stuck in my soul. 'Cause when my coals burn low and my trains run out of track, I won't be no one else to dig my hole.
feel we've been dodging a lot of things.
Well, I mean, you've already played through it for about an hour on your home stream.
Yeah, about.
And did you have, like, obstacles? Like, did things, like, run into you, like, oh, I can't do this now?
No.
So this is much more of a meditative game. It's meant
Yeah.
to be compile the stories, start to see how stuff if fits together, if it does fit together. You're not solving a mystery, you're just listening to people tell folktale.
Which is basically all I want out of life. I just sit there and tell me a story. What's the Weaker Than song? Sing me a lullaby, sing me the alphabet, sing me a story I haven't heard yet. Bunch of stories here.
Yeah.
They don't come every year, you know. The old man is sitting at the edge of a rotting old pier, crooked legs dangling over the water. He watches a pair of seagulls preen and groom each other on a rock just off the shore.
Why though?
Just when the fishing is going to be good. He taps great, black, thick globs of spent tobacco out of a huge ceramic pipe. I got another year, I guess. Another year of this town being here, he replies, letting a grin spread across his face. If the seagulls came, that means enough fish to keep it in place. The woman walks the small town square with the poise of Betty Davis. A confident stride and inimitable mannerisms elevating the sidewalk into a plush Hollywood carpet. And wrapped around her neck, a yellow velvet ribbon, bright as an ocean sunrise.
I feel like I know this story.
You question a well-dressed man parked outside an oyster house. Prudish woman. I took her on a fine date and she didn't remove so much as a ribbon. Excuse me, can you step back from the coupe?
This is one of Kat's
That's the
stories.
spirit.
Cool.
You decide to seek a second opinion.
Oh yeah, for those of you in chat, not Bruno again, worked on this game.
Cool. I think I saw them say they were contracted to do some of the stories, about 30 of them.
And one of the other people I was on a panel at last PAX, or PAX Prime. One of the people I was on that panel with, Kat Manning, worked on this game as well.
Okay, cool.
So I guess that should go under disclosure.
Yeah.
You talk with a waitress smoking outside a diner. Something funny about her. Just showed up one day. Doesn't work, doesn't live anywhere as far as I know. Just around. Myself, I'd love to know who made all her beautiful clothes.
Well, we have to go with the 9 of Swords.
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Or is that 10 of Swords? Which is the one where you're waking up? Is that 10 of
You
Swords?
ask the woman if you may join her. at a
Got
public
absolutely
bench.
twisted last night and bought all these swords.
Yeah.
Lovely outside, isn't it? Her eyes are a beautiful shade of brown. Beneath the yellow ribbon, a thick, fibrous scar wraps around her throat. Weather like this, it reminds me of Paris. You can see storm clouds on the horizon, and you don't relish the thought of being caught wandering this rocky seaside road in the rain. Fortunately, you find the lighthouse door open, with a daunting staircase before you.
isn't there like 45 Portlands in the
Oh
United
yeah,
States?
there's like tons.
Yeah, Portland and Springfield are like the Rough Riders of the United States.
Yeah, yeah.
In Canada, literally 1/4 of our football league were called the Rough Riders at one point.
Yeah.
And much like in the United States, how 1/4 of your cities are either Portland or Springfield.
Springfield. Yep. Portland, Oregon is named after Portland, Maine. I guess Portland,
At the
Maine probably
top
came
of an
first.
ornate
So.
wrought iron spiral, you're breathless and feeling the strain on your knees. Rain already batters the walls outside. You can only knock on a heavy wooden door leading into the upper level. Muffled voices and light seep in beneath the door. Looks like we got a visitor. Sounds like a man's voice, deep and rough. Well, behave yourself. I'll open the door. Another man, this one with a higher, more sonorous voice. I always behave myself. He feigns indignation, but his tone betrays affection instead. After a moment, the door unlatches from the inside and opens. The man before you is tall and muscular, with a hint of a paunch beneath his wide chest. The heavy iron knob on the door looks nearly dainty in his huge hand. Didn't want to be out in this rain, did you? Come in. Despite the rough exterior, this room looks like a well-appointed parlor. There's a rug on the well-trod wooden floor and an enormously plush couch. And sat upon it is a stocky fellow grinning through a great hazel-colored beard. Tea? He offers, hoisting a teapot. Oh, we manage. The tall one sits on the sofa, casually wrapping an arm around the other lighthouse keeper. The quiet suits us just fine. He needs his quiet time. He's a writer. The tall one grunts. I dabble, but you must have some good stories from the road. You wake up the next morning on their old sofa, still warm from an excess of tea. And cakes? There might have been little cakes. Prodigious snoring rumbles in from the floor above you, and you quietly take your leave.
That's very sweet.
Yeah.
Actually, do you want to play for a little bit?
Sure.
All right.
All right.
I just need to get. I need something to drink.
All right. What's the plan? Continue south?
Shh, wherever you want to go.
All right.
If you want to head south through, I'll be back in 2 minutes.
Okay. Yeah. I won't be long. It shouldn't take me long to get down there. And welcome back to Toxic, who subscribed for 15 months in a row. 15 months, 3 more snarfs, and I get to score 1 Parcheesi, right? That's how this works. Exactly. All right. So I need to get back to the story. Oh, what? Is it gonna work? All right, how do we get in? Damn. Oh, it did work. Does it just drop us off? They do. I'm not gonna enter Boston yet. We're gonna go to the outside. Smash that tiny farmhouse. So how do I interact? No.
A dusty truck and a man on horseback pull up next to one another in front of the grocer. Suddenly, the driver and the rider Two wiry old men with identical haircuts start shrieking at one another.
All right. New story.
Mm-hmm. Oh,
Oh, okay.
remain in the pilot chair.
I'll stay here. I have discovered something. We can hitchhike.
Oh yeah, you can compress time a little bit. So
Yeah.
you don't have to walk everywhere.
It's kind of surprising because I'm like, oh, look, a car, and then it's like press Q to hitchhike. I'm like, what? All right. It's the first story I managed to get to actually. So
Okay.
you didn't miss anything. What's going on?
The man with the truck leaps into the street.
Brother!
He shouts. The one on the horse tumbles out of his saddle.
Brother!
He screams. They embrace in the road.
30 years!
Hollers the driver. The rider, tears streaming down over his face, corrects him.
No! 32!
Oh, wow.
Everyone here is watching these two older men cry and hug one another in the middle of Main Street.
Oh.
Cars and wagons are backing up.
Toxic
People
is
are
resub
yelling.
for the 15th month. 15
Take a
months,
photo
3 more
of us.
stops, and I get
The driver
to score one
begs you,
Parcheesi, right? That's how this works.
starts hauling a tripod out of the bed of his truck.
Who else?
And Death Scythe has resub for the 10th month, saying, "My sub baby is 1 month old. Is that too young to experience Beej?" I mean, experiencing Beej is a universal condition.
Oh, dear.
The Sun or the Queen of Cups?
Did we get a Queen of Cups story yet?
Not yet.
Let's say cheese.
All right.
The long-lost brothers pose in front of traffic, cry snot pouring out of their noses. As angry passerby wave you out of the road, each brother presses a coin into your hand. When the traffic disperses, you realize they overpaid you quite a shocking amount.
Enter Boston?
Sure. When I did that story, I chose the Sun rather than the Queen of Cups. And if you take the extra bit of time to move the tripod out of the street,
Right.
they discover they are not in fact each other's brothers.
Oh. It's kind of disappointing.
Yeah.
How do
so,
I...
Space.
Space, thank you. Ooh. Neat. Red brick, green trees, blue sky. In this weather, Boston's beautiful. It's until you make your way deeper into the city and get lost among the cramped, winding, shadow-haunted old streets.
All right. So Explore will give you a story.
Okay.
Earn money lets you earn money, but we've got quite a lot of money.
Yeah.
We already have max money.
Train station, I guess, lets us move to other areas in the country.
Yep.
And then store.
Store is we can buy food.
Okay.
So if we're getting hungry, if our health is low.
Oh.
This city is like no other you've been to. Crooked streets splay out in a maze of narrow passages, no two alike. Soon, you find yourself in twilight, utterly lost. Bright light crests around one corner, a car approaching.
I was gonna grab like a glass of scotch because
Yeah.
that seemed appropriate for this, but we have exactly enough Jack left in the bottle for like perfect prop,
Oh, yeah.
like
That's
nearly
fair.
empty bottle of Jack, and it's like I can't use that.
Do we still have the scotch that's on Studio C set?
Probably.
That really nice Glenfiddich? No thank you. I'm gonna say, like, I'm feeling like, if nothing else, a taxi cab, the driver's gonna have stuff to talk about. Whereas if we keep walking, we'll see something happen. But I think the taxi cab, we're gonna hear a story, and probably because taxi cab drivers tell really good stories.
Compelled by the cold and foreboding night, you don't question it as you drag your bones into the cab. But you realize immediately how strange the vehicle is. It's a sleek thing, like a shallow parabola gliding over the street.
That sounds amazing.
Where to? He asks. You have to stop and think. Eventually, you name Boston Common, the only landmark you know in this town. He peels off silently. You feel the car move before you hear the engine. He takes you through ever odder streets, flanked by painfully clean, gleaming buildings and signage for businesses you don't recognize. Even the air seems different. It doesn't smell so sharply of gasoline and coal.
Salut.
Eventually,
Salut.
you come to
Okay.
a stop.
We took the taxi cab. When the car pulled up, we got in. It was described as like the car feels unusual.
Okay.
It feels it's sleek, like a shallow parabola on the streets.
Oh, I like that.
And then when it pulled away, the car started moving before you actually heard the engine engage.
Huh.
The fares in
I like
glowing
that. A
numbers
shallow
above his
parabola.
dashboard. It's much too high. Surely a mistake. No charge, he insists. You look like you need a break.
I am a skeleton.
And then you find yourself on the curb at Boston Common, under thick moonlight, in a city much as you'd left it before.
All right. How are we doing for
Those are all full.
those? Oh, okay. So these will drain as things happen.
Yeah.
Then we don't need to buy stuff, but I do want to see what the store looks like. Oh, cool.
Clam chowder.
All makes sense. So that would, so this shows that literally that much of your money will go missing
Yeah.
if you buy it.
Or no, that's how much it will cost.
Oh, okay.
That's how much you have to get it.
Oh, I see. Okay. All right. Well, you don't need to worry about any of those things. And I guess orange juice is so you can not have to sleep. Or
Yeah, energy or health, basically.
Okay.
And then we can go to Detroit or New York.
Or do you want to keep walking?
Let's keep walking.
Yeah.
So I guess we can just,
And we can't earn money because we're full.
yeah.
Okay. Just get
So let's head south. Actually, oh, there we go. That's our first major character.
Oh, okay.
The hobo sign.
What a great idea. Oh my god.
Yeah. Oh, actually, do you want to hit that story first?
Yes, I do.
I'm gonna keep that stripes tucked in my soul. 'Cause when my toe
He leans against a fence and turns to face you as you pass him by. At his back is a bag full of birdseed. He assures you that the gawky birds perching on his body are the last remaining passenger pigeons.
All right.
They look extinct to you?
You're not sure those dull gray pigeons look anything like the pictures you've seen of passenger pigeons, though you can't help thinking they stare at you a little too intently.
Say, you like birds?
Sure.
Yeah, sure.
They're lovely creatures. Guileless, really.
Hunted damn near to extinction, weren't you? He strokes one of his birds under the chin. You think you see drips of blood flecking the creature's dirty gray head.
All right.
You sense it's about time you start moving on.
You be kind to the little birds now, you hear?
You hurry along the road, though the flapping of ungainly wings seems to follow you for hours.
my tail, my vagrant song.
All right.
This will be my tale.
Hey there, stranger. You're welcome to enjoy this fire with me, if you're respectful, that is. This here is my spot, and I ain't inclined to share it with any bad characters. You can call me Quinn. These here are my venturing companions. Cass is the big un, and the one with the spots is Flip. I usually beat my way on the rails, But the road news said this town was fat and the weather was fine. So I'm taking in the sights and seeing what I can drum up. Hey, tell me a funny story. You seem like you still got a sense of humor.
Whoa.
All right, so let's tell him a funny story.
All right.
Oh, we have to hit continue.
Okay. Subject to each story here. Tell the future about love. They'll tell you about something in their own life related to such love. 4 things.
Okay, so we can tell like 5 stories.
Okay. Sometimes stories your guys gain interest in, or eye will open. Opens fully next to you, meet them, open one in their life. Huh. Dance around and get to know them.
And we'll meet Quinn again, so there's not a lot of pressure to like level them up all at once.
That's fair. Travel, freedom, bondage, traps, imprisonment.
What's our fool's story?
White deer, bridge builders. Boy ran away from his father in Maine. So freedom.
The bridge builders might be kind of funny because they
Yeah.
kind of josh with you, but let's see what else we have.
All right. Silent twins.
That's a ghost story. Another ghost story. I'd say that's more of an adventure story.
Yeah. And then there's the taxi cab and the seagulls. Family. Love. Strange stones. Elegant woman in a small town, Portland.
What about the girl with the stones?
Maine. Yeah.
That one's kind of strange.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure I quite follow that one. This land sure is something, ain't it? I can't wait to see it all. Tramping like I do makes me realize the land's another kind of companion. It's always with you. Maybe things are so depressed because folks lost sight of that. Hey, do you got any really thrilling stories to tell? I'm hankering for one of those.
Yeah.
Stewie. I think that's the bridge builders.
Yeah. Freedom it was, wasn't it?
Oh, yeah, no, that would be the bootleggers, who were also kind of like an exciting story.
I had the pistols pulled on me.
Yeah.
Alright.
Well, that was a lively tale.
Nice.
Authority, bosses and such. I ain't nobody's little Angelina, if that's what you're asking. I take care of myself and my dogs. I don't need no jocker looking out for me, so if you're offering, don't. Shoot, I thought I told you to be respectful. You want to keep enjoying my spot or not? Think about that.
Yo, Quinn, everything's cool.
Hey, tell me one of those exciting stories.
Something freaky? Or
I like the bridge builders.
yeah, let's do it.
Well, that was something. You spin a good yarn.
All right.
Freedom. Well, teacher used to talk about freedom like America was eat up with it, but the tramping kind seems to be just about the only real freedom still in supply. Ain't no freedom from an empty stomach or bad weather, unless you're rich. I want to hear one of them venturing tales. Got any?
We must have something that's
Kind of adventurous.
yeah.
Maybe the one about the taxi cab.
That was the future,
Yeah. Maybe.
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 Yeah, because there really aren't.
Well, Bruno was saying earlier that the Headless Horseman is really more of a story about how a small town pulls one over on some, like, smarty pants.
Oh, okay.
Like, it's really more, in the original telling, it's really more of a funny story.
Okay.
And then Disney made it into a cartoon with this really effective, like, they made the prank really convincing, and everyone who saw it as a small kid
I thought
imprinted.
that it was horror story.
Yeah.
Oh, I see. Okay. Taxi cab. Let's try it.
Okay. The Headless Horseman in this game is a ghost story? Okay.
Whoa, quite a story, stranger.
He likes that.
Okay.
What's my future look like? I ain't looking for a traveling companion, if that's what you mean.
No, I just.
I do fine by
Quinn,
myself.
you're
but
projecting
just
again.
Stick to mine in your own.
You're projecting again, Quinn.
I want to hear a story about ghosts or murderers or something. Scary stuff.
All right, that we got.
Yeah. Oh, in spades.
The Silent Twins.
That seems like a really effective one.
Yeah. How about the time we stayed in the murder hotel?
Mm-hmm.
Wow, that's the stuff, stranger. Spooky campfire tales are my favorite. Traveling, I sure do love it. And I seen some pretty things out there. I seen serpent trains passing on a green and gold sea. I seen mountains so tall and forests so thick, nobody will ever tame them. I once seen a bunch of townies skinny dipping in a river. That sure was something. I seen terrible things too. Biblical floods and starving folks, and black blizzards full of dust. Oh, heck, the night's over already. I sure enjoyed talking to you, but I gotta get on. I think I'll see what's happening up the road this way.
This way, I'm guessing.
Okay, yeah.
So if we continue on this road, we'll catch up with Quinn again.
Yeah.
Okay.
The tramping life suits me just fine. Every day is a venture. With things being so depressed, folks walk around like it's the end of everything good. But it ain't. Plenty nice things to see if you know where to look.
That's really cool because I wasn't sure what the you collect stories. I'm like, that's very cool. Do they become puzzle pieces that fit together? And they're not, they're currency.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That you exchange them, and what you get out of that is you can tell Quinn's story now.
Oh, nice.
And Quinn's story will automatically is what anybody wants to hear. It's like a wild card.
Oh, I see. Okay. So the more
I
people you
think.
meet like that, the more valuable those kind of become.
Yeah. Chroma has resubbed for the 17th month. Well, Seymour, you are an odd fellow, but I must say you spin a good yarn.
As you walk down the road, a black crow flutters down to land in your path. It looks at you, cocks its head, and speaks. Well, you've got a long, long road ahead of you, don't you? All these people to chase down, or so I hear, it laughs. I got some experience when it comes to chasing folks.
No shit.
Yeah, we should probably talk to a crow.
Yeah.
Well, if you want, you can go find your friend again. Ask him more about their life. They might want better stories this time, though. He peers up at you. Didn't they tell you where they're headed next? Yeah. But hey, the world is full of people. Bet you could find another friend like that if you went looking around. There's more than one interesting person in this land for sure. Gives a gravelly laugh. That's what humans say anyway. And with that, it launches into the air and disappears.
I guess that's the tutorial for
What you're...
yeah.
Continue the same way, or should we...
Sure.
Okay. So wait. So it's...
Oh, it's a little rhythm game.
That's super cool.
I love that.
What a nice little touch.
Yeah, what a way to pass the time.
Yeah.
His clothes are expensive, but unkempt. A tailored jacket stretched and warped out of its best fit by long days on the road. His thinning frame weighs down the boxcar next to yours. You got a light, friend?
Sure.
You offer a match. which bends and nearly snaps as he scratches it against the pitted iron edge of the boxcar. "Thanks," he mumbles, perching one last cigarette on his lip. "Don't rightly know where I'm going." You notice how deeply wrinkled his clothes are. It's as though a huge hand plucked him from a high society party and crumpled him up like a sheet of paper. "Don't rightly know how I got going either." "They built a railway just past Missy Hudson's estate. Damned racket ruined our soiree. Might have been a few bottles of Armagnac too many when I walked down the tracks to tell them to keep it quiet." He drags on the cigarette, but you never see him exhale.
I mean, Zondai, maybe he did lose everything.
Policeman in the truck in this corner is having a pretty wild argument with someone on the other end of the radio. "No," he keeps saying. "No way." You listen as the man on the radio finishes a wild story about the trickster who lures humans with magic stones. "I swear this is what happened," the cop on the radio insists. That when it clicks. "You know this story. It's a stranger version of the story of the girl with the strange stones, but with some bits left out or replaced." "Ain't true," the cop in the truck sighs. "If only he knew." That's
So our stories level up.
That's
as we tell
kind of
them.
cool.
Yeah.
All right. So we talked about, or Quinn talked about black blizzards full of dust. So this is the Depression.
Yeah.
So this is 1929, 1930s, that era.
I think it's also drawing on like earlier stuff and later stuff. It's a bit unmoored in time.
Right.
Broadly set during the Depression, but if there's interesting stuff that the devs wanted to use from other periods, they'll just go ahead and use it.
So we have been all over the place, which is great. We haven't been up Long Island. Is there anything?
I don't know. It doesn't look like it.
Okay.
I mean, the Pigeons was from Rhode Island.
Yeah.
Right?
So this is going to be New York. This is New York proper.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Hey, Lily. Nothing in Long Island, huh?
The air stinks of gasoline and trash, and you're boxed in by brick. But damn, there's something invigorating about that stink. God, you feel like there's an engine in your chest.
The engines belch black smoke as the ferry churns gray water into froth. A broad-shouldered figure leans out over the rail, eyeing the skyscrapers on the horizon. Nearby, a man and a woman speak in low, urgent voices. He takes her wrist gently. She is weeping softly.
So we have some tales of love already, but this is a tale of the fool. But we have some of those too, don't we?
Yeah.
I find the couple very compelling, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wish you didn't have to go.
She says.
There's gotta be work on some of those buildings going up.
His thumb skates over her pulse point.
I checked every day for a week. There ain't. I'll be back, though. Got your picture in my wallet, don't I? It's not forever.
Her words are split by a sob.
Might as well be. My parents didn't come to New York for this.
She leans against him, the wind tousling her hair. He pulls her to his chest.
I'm leaving because I gotta go. If there was another way...
They stand together, close, quiet, in the stiff breeze.
Aha. Okay. And Same things. Okay.
Yeah.
I thought it might be
Different
like,
clam chowder, though.
yeah. Oh. New Jersey.
A few wanderers like you are looking for a place to camp.
We heard there's a Leatherman cave nearby.
They tell you. They describe a locally famous vagrant who hiked this area for almost 30 years.
He's dead now, but his caves are the best place to camp at any town.
You and the other wanderers find the cave easily, because someone's lit a fire there. As you approach, you see a silhouette bend over the flames with an odd, creaking sound, like a door swinging in the wind. His coat is crudely stitched from leather plates that squeak against each other.
The Leatherman.
One of the others whispers.
A ghost.
The Leatherman must have heard, but he just stares. His face is corpse still.
No, you idiots.
Of course he isn't a ghost.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's eating, you say, and point out his can of beans.
Je ne suis pas un fantôme.
The Leatherman says, and adds,
Idiot. Oh,
bursts your companion.
Canadien.
Soon, he and the Leatherman are deep in conversation, and your group has a safe place to rest.
I love the branching opportunities the stories might
Yeah.
take. Not Bruno again says, this might be the only Canadian representation of the game, sorry. That's fine.
That's fine. Canadien? Non, Québécois.
Oh.
Yeah, exactly. Jaded cynic.
Okay. Ask about stories, why not?
Yeah.
Tell the stories around, they'll come back more exciting, more satisfying. Always listen to stories other folks tell. So, if we tell a story, there's a chance that other stories will pop on our tour, because we told Quinn a story. I think we told Quinn the story about the stones, didn't we?
Yeah, about the girl in the stones.
Yeah, and that grew because he left before we did. Okay.
I wonder what language the girl was speaking.
Yeah.
Because she
right?
said something to us, but I don't recognize the language.
Yeah.
I mean, if it's in the Northeast, that would have been probably Mohawk, right? Upstate New York?
Yeah. Are the Iroquois from that area too?
Iroquois are from further west.
Okay.
I want to say.
All right. A couple folks' true life stories in real life, no matter what kind of story they think they want to hear. So, like that couple with the unemployment, that could be a story that people would like to hear.
Yeah. A sad love story.
Mm-hmm. All right. Okay. Keep moving south?
Sure, let's go south. When I played this at home, I went west.
Okay. Did you follow the U.S.-Canada border, essentially, or?
Kind of. I think I went to New York and then headed west.
Okay.
Into, like, Pennsylvania and Michigan. Got into the Midwest. There was some interesting stuff there, but I think there's interesting stuff probably everywhere in this game.
Oh, yeah. There he is again.
Okay.
You hear about trains? Sure, tell us about trains. Hop on at a train yard, though. Okay, don't get caught.
Railroad bulls? Are those the railroad cops?
Yeah, I think so. Can't even cross rivers when you want to, only at safe crossings. As a mechanic, as a tutorial mechanic, the crow's actually pretty cool. I like that idea.
Well, I'm gonna scrawl my name on the bare bones of
The stream is a clear, reflective shade of blue, unusual in this region where bog iron colors the river's brown. Across the way, a goat with great leather wings laps up the water, its sunken red eyes fixed on your every movement.
This is the Jersey Devil, isn't it?
Yeah, I think so. Oh yeah, Louisiana would have some wild stuff.
Yeah.
You now notice the unnatural absence of wildlife. No fish swim in the stream. No birds sing in the trees. The winged goat drinks with a forked tongue, only abstractly concerned with your presence.
No, you pick. I don't know what.
Let's drink the water.
Okay, let's drink the water.
It's
You
cool.
cup the
We're cool.
water in your hands, ice cold somehow, and take a swallow, soothing the coarseness in your parched throat. Clear as the water is, the stream bed isn't visible, even looking straight down.
Okay.
Obviously.
Your feet don't reach the bottom, so you float in the cool water, feeling washed clean. The ripples flow as far as you can see, never fading. The winged goat snorts and heads in the other direction.
All right. That's really weird, because I would imagine. Is the
Oh, is that Quinn again? Hit M for the map.
That's Quinn, right?
Yeah. Oh, and then there's someone else to his south.
Okay. Do we catch up with him? Do we keep moving?
We could. I don't know that we have a lot of other stories to share with Quinn yet.
No. So we should probably skip him.
Yeah, and go check out this other dude.
Okay. Can we get the ones that are
Yeah, we can. I don't think there's any consequences for.
catching these?
Yeah.
The man is the color of mill dust. His smile creases his face like folds in dough. He gestures you inside the dilapidated structure and shouts over the sound of driving wheels. You're welcome to sleep here. You don't want to rest by the river. Not in the evening. Insects.
Their narrator has a very wide range.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Man shoves the broken door
This is the
closed
same
behind
actor who
you.
did Thane Krios in Mass
The mill
Effect.
is warm.
Oh, cool.
And the air is heavy with the powder kicked up by your entrance. You realize how easy it would be to drift off on this pile of sacks to the loud but constant sound of the grinding wheels.
Contingent Cat says, you guys keep calling Quinn him. I get the impression Quinn was a girl. Did I miss something? That's the thing. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I assume from the name Quinn, because I've always heard it as a male name. I was like, even though it sounds like Quinn's being voiced by a woman, I don't know if Quinn is a boy or a girl. And I naturally was like, Quinn sounds male, so I'll say that. So. I don't know.
Yeah. I might be purposely vague.
We don't have many of the sun, do we?
No, I don't think we do.
So let's sleep.
Yeah.
Pain sears your spine.
Quinn is envy.
Why did you sleep at this ridiculous angle? Your back complains from being draped over the millstone. That's good the mill is totally abandoned. Its works long ago disconnected, or your legs would have been pulverized. The man is gone. Huh. This is not a place to linger.
All right.
One other story to collect here, and then also looks like another tutorial, or
Yeah. We'll find out what the little car is, or the one next to us. I see.
Will first. shrill and close.
Bad sign.
Then you see him, high up above the black streaks of wires. A lineman, fraying belt holding him to the pole. A damned bird has come to perch on a power line, stare hungrily at the man's soul.
The lineman vignette is the first thing I wrote for this game, not Bruno again says.
He's unsteady. His hands are shaky, and his body sways in the wind. You spot his tool bag next to the pole, worn and frayed, much like the man. A half-gone bottle of cheap rye pokes out of it.
We don't have a tower story yet.
Yeah, we should do that. Also, I think because the idea is if we take the bottle, then he doesn't get more drunk and kill himself. Maybe that's the idea?
Maybe. Maybe he gets the shakes
What's he
and
gonna
falls.
do?
Oh, yeah.
Come down from the pole? You snatch it from his bag in one quick motion and walk away. Hey! He starts, but whatever he's about to say slips into a slurred whine as his belt snaps.
Well, either way, it's a story. It's the
Yeah.
same story.
His body plummets, and his limbs go slack with the understanding of what is happening to him. He tumbles into the tall, dry grass by the side of the road with a muffled noise. All you hear is the call of the whippoorwill. Eager, loud, thankful.
We didn't make that happen, did we?
Well, we didn't break his belt.
It's true. Hero story.
There was,
Oh, go ahead.
sorry, there was like, God. I'm gonna fly a huge flag here and say there's an old Warhammer novel.
Okay.
With Warhammer fantasy novel that was about these dwarf slayers. And dwarves are, you know, they're very honor bound, right? And when a dwarf fucks up, they take the Slayer Oath and they shave their head and they go out and try to find monsters to kill them.
And they just basically keep doing that until they die? Kind of
Yeah,
thing? I
until
see.
they find a monster that can kill them.
Okay.
And one of the Slayers is named Snorri. And there's one part where he's just sitting around a campfire drinking, and he's thinking, it's like, and he has vague memories of a woman and a child, and he's like, but he knows they're dead, and he's like, did Snorri kill them? No. Was Snorri responsible? Yeah. Yeah, he was.
Wow. All right, it's break time at this half-finished bridge. The workers are gathered around a young man who sits in a bucket like a king. They listen rapidly to his story about the taxi, which shows that its rider's the future. Oh, hey. It's the story of the odd silent taxi cab in Boston, but heavily embellished. The young man in the bucket tells it masterfully, doing all the voices as if he's told this way 1,000 times before. It's nothing close to what actually happened, but the version's pretty good. You'll have an easy time remembering it.
Another one of our stories.
That's really cool.
Matt the Beard has just subscribed. Thank you for supporting us.
That also then feels to me like, in a way, that because we told Quinn the stories, Quinn goes around, spreads them, and then we as we kind of follow where Quinn had gone, we'll get all the level up stuff, right?
Yeah.
But then there's also, it's kind of like we have to tell the stories because if we don't, if there's stories we choose not to tell, they don't ever level up.
Yeah.
And so we need to tell the stories so that they can actually become part of the fabric.
Yeah. So
I'm
we can.
tired?
Why don't we head to the? Oh yeah, you're getting a little tired.
Okay.
So let's head to the Southern Fire first and talk to that person.
Okay. I'm caught on a giant building.
you want to take control?
Sure.
All right. Mason.
this.
My twin brother Paul and I
Alright.
always got into trouble, but we were good.
And thanks to Matt the Beard who just subscribed. Welcome to the channel, Matt. Ooh.
Ooh.
We didn't do nothing to anybody till we left.
First World War vet?
Then we hurt a lot of people. Me, more so than Paul, because well, he didn't make it through.
Yeah, I would imagine.
The march I was on, the bonus army, it's less a bonus and more an acknowledgement of what I've had to suffer. Civilians will never understand. Do you know any happy stories? Hopeful ones?
Yeah, I got some.
Seagull seems
Yeah.
like a hopeful story, yeah.
I liked that one. There's some hope left for you too, you know. Don't give it away too quickly. The future's the issue, ain't it? Great War leaves us nothing to go back to, plucking up the hope and leaving us only with the vile and the unforgiven. Know any good jokes? I'm not so good at telling them anymore.
Funny stories, huh? Yeah, the Leatherman
Yeah,
is a
I
funny
think
story.
it's pretty funny, yeah. Or else we're giving something of ourselves away by saying we think it's funny.
Yeah.
Wish I could tell that one to my sister. My faith? Well, God and I haven't been on speaking terms since I got the infection. I gave the fucker so many chances to make things right, and he hasn't followed through. My brother Paul used to love scary stories. Tell me one.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I think this is a scary story.
I think so.
He got an infection, not the Spanish flu.
Sounds like one of those scary stories Paul
The First
would have
World
told
War
me.
was fought before the development of antibiotics.
Yeah, that's right, yeah.
Home. Well, my sister, Jessie, won't forgive me for what happened to Paul, so she won't let me back home. I made my own way for a while after that, till no one could afford gardeners. Who could stand to care for the land nowadays? So anyway, tell me a funny story? You seem like you know a few good ones.
Do we have any other funny stories?
I think we can probably... Well, we can always just tell Quinn's story.
That's true, yeah.
I think Quinn is a wild card story.
Yeah.
Yeah, Paul would have liked that one. Travel. Well, this walk feels like a little bit of freedom now and again. The flowers along the road make for fine company. Know any good jokes? I'm not so good at telling them anymore.
Okay, so
Okay, apparently the last bottle of Armagnac
is technically
a funny story because it's about a guy who got on a train accidentally. That's the
fair.
context we're missing.
Okay, because I thought the idea was that he walked along the train tracks mad at them and he thought he could turn back a train and got hit by the train. And because he's like really rich, like I thought he was a ghost, but I guess
Yeah.
not. So
I mean, maybe this is just a funny story either way.
yeah, sure.
Or
Like, that's also...
I think that one might hit him a bit hard.
Yeah, I think that's kind of the problem, though, right?
Yeah.
So tell me one about the two brothers. It's like, that would be kind of funny, except...
Yeah. I don't think Mason wants to hear that one.
No. Last Battle of Armagnac. Let's see what happens.
Hmm.
And we'll see it grow. That'll... hopefully.
Yeah, Paul would have liked that one.
Nice.
All right.
Imprisonment? The more days I check off, the more I'm convinced that birth is an imprisonment.
Oof. Damn.
I must eat, so I must have money. I must have money, so I must work. It's an inevitable prison. Here's the sun. I've got to go. I'm headed up the road this way. Will our paths cross?
Okay.
Days
Catch you around,
come and
Mason.
go and the terrors return. They'll never be able to pay back what they owe me, but I'll always keep at 'em. What about you? Is there something somebody owes you?
Oof.
All right. Well, let's go see Quinn.
Yeah, let's do it. So I'm pretty sure that all they had back at this time in terms of anything that was antibiotic would have been like sulfa drugs, right?
I'm not even sure they had that yet.
Okay.
Stranger, it's good to see you again. You know, I'm gonna see this whole world one day, but for now, I just got my sights set on seeing all 48 of the great U.S. I already seen 10 whole states. That's better than my folks ever done, that's for sure. Plenty of townies and even some tramps treat me like I'm kid simple, but I ain't helpless, and I only act it when I ain't got no better choice, like if I get pinched. I do right fine on my own. Don't need nobody but Cass and Flip. I want to hear one of them venturing tales. Got any?
Creepy Mill might be an adventuring tale.
Yeah, I could see that. Or the boy who ran away with his father.
Yeah. Yeah. Or
Leatherman's Cave might also...
yeah, the Leatherman's Cave might also be an adventuring story.
That was a chuckle to be sure.
Yeah.
Do you know anything more of faith?
So it's
Well,
a funny story
I
more
ain't the
than...
religious type, though I was raised in the Christian way. I reckon I don't see no point to trusting a God that could squash you in an instant. Such a situation don't exactly breed trusting. Hey, tell me one of those exciting stories.
Got a lot of ghost stories.
Yeah.
Got a lot of, like, sad stories. Not really an adventure. It's more of a hopeful story. I mean, we could just, like, punt
him-
this one and give him Mason's story.
Sure, let's do it.
Or,
Like, that's a freedom story, so I guess it would
Yeah.
maybe count?
yeah.
Well, that sure was a downer. Give me a good
Ah,
adventure tale
crap.
instead
Damn
any
it!
day.
Alright.
Freedom? Well, that's what
How's
them
the game?
trains have come to mean
Really
to me.
good.
Freedom. Crossing a country wider than imagination. I want to hear a story about ghosts or murderers or something. Scary stuff.
Well,
All right, then.
You spin a good yarn. I was shivering there for a little bit. Being trapped, caged. You think beggardom is a prison? No, stranger. Beggardom is freedom. Responsibility is the real trap, wound tight like an old spring. Pride and pretending will bleed folk dry, and then when there ain't nothing left to be proud of, when they can't pretend no more, they'll unwind. You got any stories that are a little sad?
Cool. Son, you would not believe.
The do you want to hang on to that to use later?
Yeah,
Or...
how about the lineman?
Yeah, the lineman sounds good.
Shoot, I ain't teared up. Just got something in my eyes, all.
I watched a man die.
Change.
I killed him.
Change ain't coming, stranger. It's already here, so they say. Got a whole country tied together with rails and roads and still can't feed everybody. Between you and me, I think that ain't ever gonna change. Can or can't got nothing to do with it. I'm in the mood for something real funny like.
Come on, Quinn! Maybe this is funny.
I guess, yeah.
Seagulls, no. Creepy Mill, no. Bootleggers, we can't tell. We're out of everything. Quinn, it's take it or leave it, Quinn.
Yeah.
I don't get too much out of tales that are so cheerful. Not
Fuck.
enough excitement for me.
Jesus.
There you go, talking about family. Like I said, don't need nobody but my dogs. Flip's still a little green. Found him starving and angry by the roadside a few months back. He gets riled now and again, but he don't do nothing too bad if you just wait and let him get it out of his system. He's good to have around most times, and Cash sure seems to enjoy the company. Well, sun's coming up, so I've got to get ready to go. Thanks for the tales, friend. Where you heading next? Decided yet?
Oh.
Maybe our paths will cross. I'm going up the road this way myself.
All right.
We're not gonna
Hope
run
I'll
into
see
you
something
soon.
fun. I generally do, you know. There's interesting things to see everywhere if you keep your eyes open.
Maryland?
Sure, yeah. Delaware. Hi, we're
Oh.
in Delaware.
Sure is Delaware over here.
Didn't even put a building.
Welcome to Delaware. Visit our scenic hole in the ground. It's bean-shaped. Delaware, we have shadows.
There are dark times in Delaware.
Wait, was that Wayne's World?
Yeah.
We're in Delaware.
Hi, we're in Delaware. Or I'm in Delaware. And they both just kind of stand there awkwardly.
It's hard to look at these shining buildings in the direct sunlight. You feel like an ant crawling among the tombs of giants. Away from the monuments, though, you find a city that's a little more human.
It was a very weird experience walking on the National Mall.
Yeah?
Because Ian and I went because we're like, what are we going to do? We're in Maryland. We're at National Harbor. Let's go to Washington and like see all the stuff, right?
Yeah.
And it's all in one place, so it's very easy. But it was odd to be like, we walked the National Mall and Lincoln's Memorial, Washington Monument, and then as you're continuing along that area, the African American History Museum is like right there. But I swear, because we turned to our left and we looked down past all these other buildings, we just basically just blocks and blocks of like 5-story tall buildings, just office buildings.
Right.
And then there's the White House.
Huh.
And I'm like, huh. Wow. It's just, that's it, isn't it? Is that the White House? And you can see the Capitol building like way off in the distance kind of deal. It's just like, this is really weird. I see all this stuff on TV, but now I'm just seeing it in person. It's a real place. It's not some stuff it's not like a set.
Right,
Yeah.
right. I've heard the Lincoln Memorial is actually huge.
Yeah.
In real life. Like you see pictures of it and you're like, oh, that's a big thing. And then
Yeah.
you go to it and you're like, sweet buttered Christ on a bun. This is big. Why is it big? Why is it so big?
It's crazy walking, because you walk up the steps, and I noticed that as I walked up the steps, I'm like, shit, it's not getting any smaller. like it starts to loom over you, and when you're in the space, I imagine it's way better if you're there when nobody else is, because it's quiet, because it was not quiet when we were there, even though they had signs that say quiet please, but it is a really, like, it's for all the people that were there, it still feels like a lot of silence. So it's very hallowed ground.
America, come see our really big fucking things.
Yeah, and you kind of get a sense of, like, we don't have that, like, what do we have in Canada? In Alberta, they have the world's largest Ukrainian Easter egg.
Yeah.
And I'm like, those aren't the same kind of things when it comes to our monuments.
In Colwood has the world's second largest hockey stick.
Yeah.
Like,
So,
all right, yeah, but we have the CN Tower,
yeah.
which, is it still the world's tallest man-made structure?
It is not the world's largest freestanding structure, I don't think, anymore.
Okay,
There's
is that the
something
Burj
else.
Khalifa?
Something like that, yeah.
Okay.
But just even going to the CN Tower, I felt like, wow, that's really big. But I didn't feel like a sense of place.
Right.
I just felt like this has been shoved inside the city with a bunch of other things. And it kind of made me understand why, like, several years back, why Prime Minister Harper was all like, we need to build Mother Canada on the coast of the whatever. I'm like, you went to Washington too many times.
Yeah, and you saw a thing, and...
Yeah, and felt like, we need to have one of those too, and it's like, but not in the way that you think.
Yeah. Have you ever seen the Jade Canoe?
I have not.
Oh, it's this great sculpture. I forget the name of... He's a Haida artist. But it's at the Canadian Embassy in Washington, and there's also one in Vancouver International Airport.
Okay.
And there's one in the Canadian Heritage Museum in Ottawa.
Ooh.
And it's this wonderful, like, sculpture of a canoe being crewed by all the Haida kind of folklore figures.
Oh, cool.
Right? And there's, like, you know, there are people, like, rowing, and I think eagle and bear are fighting, and, like, there is one figure who's basically like a slave or a captured person who's just, like, rowing very quietly, and Mouse Woman is, like, kind of protecting her children, and
Okay.
Raven is at the till. Raven has the rudder,
Oh, wow.
and the
Okay.
chief is just like, everything's fine, everything's fine. And that's, like, the big Canadian thing, right? That's
Yeah.
what we put at our embassy in Washington.
Yeah.
It kind of has a wonderful, like, sense of humor about it. Everything's fine. Everything's fine. This is normal. This is normal.
The mailman's uniform is dated and worn. He sits on the edge of the road, head in hands.
Oh yeah, the spirit
He
of
looks
Haida
up
Gwaii.
as
That's
you
it.
approach. Can you help? Car clipped me. I think my legs... Well, I'd appreciate it if you could deliver this for me. He holds out a brown envelope.
Sure.
The letter's addressed to a James Gibson Sr., 120 J Street. But the city stymies you. The blocks run straight from I to K. You stop a man for directions, but he shakes his head and laughs. Someone's playing a joke on you. There's no J Street.
Yeah, speaking of the Vietnam Memorial, I heard that the names listed on it are listed in, not in alphabetical order, but they're listed in chronological order.
Yeah. It's by
for-
year of death reported, I think.
Yeah.
It is. Yeah. It was,
So you have to, if you're looking for a specific name, you have to go through everything.
yeah. It
And
was,
gives you a sense for, like, how many people died before the name you're looking for, and how many people were yet to die
Yeah.
afterwards.
Yeah, and where
right?
where a person is kind of in the middle of that. It was very God, like in the walking that
Over
it
here.
was very weird.
A woman in a brown coat overheard your question. She steers you down an alley, Someone's chalked a big orange J on one wall.
I thought Clovis was late. Go left up ahead. Old Man Gibson's the third on the right.
As you round the corner, the world changes. J Street is a place out of time. Like the city forgot an entire street a century ago and carried on around it, oblivious. Even the noise and bustle of D.C. can't penetrate this little pocket. The man who answers is ancient and stooped. He peers at the letter.
I think it's from my son. I don't see so well anymore. Will you read it to me?
You tear the letter open. It isn't good news.
Whatever, man. The wolf said to tell the truth.
Yeah, tell the truth. True stories are more interesting.
I ain't here to butter your bread.
Yeah.
I'm just a skeleton spirit wandering the land telling stories.
He fights it, but his face crumbles. Tears roll down his cheeks.
It's better to know. I've been waiting a long time for this.
His shaking hand takes the letter.
Thank you for telling me.
And they don't pay me to make things up.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I would love to go a place like J Street because that sounds amazing. I love the idea of a smaller town lost inside a larger city that nobody knows about. That kind of lost, that feeling of like it's something being a step at a time like that, especially amongst like where everything else is changing. But yeah, Vietnam Memorial, when you start, you're about like, because it goes down and then it turns at an angle and comes back up again. And when Ian and I walked it, you start at like street level with everything else, and you just kind of slowly go down and down and down until you're about like 7 feet below the ground.
Yeah.
And all the sound is gone. Because everything from the streets and everything you could hear until you get to this point, and you just kind of stop. You're like, there's no more sound when you're at the depth of this thing, and then you walk out the other end, and I'm like, that's a great little effect. That's clearly that was on purpose.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Virginia should have some interesting stories.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. There's a campfire over there, so I
Yeah.
think that's somebody new we haven't met yet.
Or is that Quinn again? No, that's
brand new.
Yeah, no, it looks like he looks like a coal miner.
Yeah.
What's your deal?
Sorry, friend, but I gotta ask you not to get no closer unless I can see your hands at all times. Look too clean to be one of us. But you don't look like the company sent you neither.
You're a union man.
Wonder who he's running from then. Okay.
Alright, come and share my fire spell. Don't linger. These hills is full of ears. Don't think just 'cause you can't see no one that you're safe.
What was the worker revolt in Virginia where the American government actually sent in the army to bust up the coal miners?
It was the coal miners.
Yeah.
It wasn't the railroad thing.
And I'll give you cornbread. Don't be so sure of me neither. Got any funny stories? Must have a couple.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, tons. Literally the Coal Wars.
You got some wit, stranger. Trust. Can I trust you? If I asked
West
you how many
Virginia?
widows were made when the number 9 fell in, would you know? what year it was when they walked Samuels and his boys down to Big Sandy and done them like criminals?
The Battle
heard
of
the
Blair
word of Mother
Mountain.
Jones?
Yeah.
If you can't answer these, I can't say much. Anyway, I need something to laugh about. Got any funny ones?
You're making this real hard, man.
That's kind of funny. The Trickster's a funny one, right?
I think so.
Well, also the
can't-
last bottle of Armagnac is
Let's-
funny.
Yeah, let's do that then.
We know that one's funny.
Oh boy, you watch out now, I'll start chuckling. Traps. Yeah, I tried to help dig us out. Now more like than not, I'm gonna be running forever. Keep thinking, I should get mad about it. Maybe there's only so mad a man can be for so long. Sometimes, fire follows the line all the way up into the hole and then whoosh, snuffs out. And there's the men with their eyes screwed shut, fingers in their ears, not knowing how to feel about the silence. I need a laugh. Know any good jokes?
Yeah, let's give it a go.
Yeah.
Come on, that's all made up. Home? I always wanted a little place where I could watch the sky change color, watch the cook fire smoke, dance up among the pines. Anyway, I need something to laugh about. Got any funny ones?
Do we just give him a...
I guess we can give him a wild card.
Yeah.
Right, I think these stories are wild cards.
Ah, yeah. Focusing
You
on
are
the funny
a pretty
parts.
funny one, you know that? Travel? Well, next time you take a train, take a peek on up at its beating heart. It's black breath. That's just what a mining man looks like inside him. Coal dust, smoke, and fire. I need a laugh. Know any good jokes?
No. No, we don't. We're out.
Yeah, we told you every funny thing we know.
Does the the hell was that one? Back under Freedom. The boy who ran away with his father in Maine, is that funny or not funny? That was not funny, right?
Yeah, I think that was sad.
That was sad, okay. Like, we can just give him something else, I guess, to, that he can add some stuff to.
Like, we've already leveled up.
Yeah,
Right.
so we can give him anything we want at this point.
How about the two brothers?
Yeah, let's do it.
Come on. Don't try to cheer me up with that lying nonsense.
Alright.
Family. Well, they took my big brother out of school to send him down the mines.
Okay, you can't lose progress by not matching.
He weren't bigger than 10 years old, but 25 cents, right type of handshakes, off he went to work.
Wow.
He's so big in my memory, but he must have been such a small feller, come to think. Morning. I gotta get going. Headed up that way. Won't be specific, for my safety and yours. You wanna find me? Then do it. Talk again about these things. Hole ain't got no country. No worker neither. Worker ain't Virginian, Christian, white, colored, Irish, Polish, nothing. A worker is a worker. We all gotta work. If you're one of them, if you think I sound red, you best come out and say so. Get it over with.
I guess the union's early example of American intersectionalism.
I guess, yeah.
Intersectionality.
Where it's like, the important thing is everyone needs to belong.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you think I sound red.
I don't think the Pinkertons and the government had any love for notions of communism.
No.
The women are oblivious to your approach. Their eyes are shut. Their touch, where they hold hands, is gentle. They speak in low tones. One stifles a burst of laughter, but it brings a smile to their faces. "Sorry," says the one who laughed. "Don't be," another assures her.
Let's
They
leave them
don't
be.
look up.
Yeah.
And we give thanks for those who have left us, who we wanted gone, for the skills to thrive without them, and for the companions who make the effort joyful.
The voice of the youngest wavers. The woman to her left squeezes her hand. This is not a scene to intrude upon.
I got no companion.
All right.
Yeah. Is this Eugene Debs' country?
And the sea.
I can't answer that.
Low
so,
tide on a
or we're heading
moonless
into Eugene
night.
Debs' country. Okay.
This beach is long, stretching toward a receding sea. In the darkness, the sand seems coarse and gray, alien. The stars are dim and distant. It outshines the stars with its presence, a streak of sickly colored light, leaving a trail of distorted fire. It slowly creeps along the sky like a vast worm, though you know that, given the distance, it must be moving at great speed.
Yeah.
Yeah. We need a world story.
Yeah.
Its parabola heads south to north. In the far distance, just for a second, a boardwalk town is engulfed in light. With a rumble, its street lamps and windows dim, then go dark. All that you can see emanating from there is an otherworldly color that you can't quite name.
Ooh, one of our stories has grown.
Yeah. Huh.
It's a good story.
Yeah. There's one off to the left.
Oh, yeah.
Now Bruno again says that they insert a lot of Lovecraft and Stephen King riffs into the game
Yeah, I guess Stephen King is kind of...
in terms of telling more modern American, because a lot of his stuff is rooted in the place.
Yeah, it's very, well, like Maine, right? Castle Rock.
Outside the small thicket of apple trees, the phrase "tended to by John Chapman" is carved into a fence post. Nearby, a hound lies on its side, perfectly still. Flies buzz around its ears. But a grizzled man pauses at his digging to shoo them off.
I think we help him.
Sure, yeah.
There's an extra shovel. With it, the two of you make short work of the grave. He tells you about his beliefs, why he's raising apple orchards in the middle of the country. It's a sin to graft, he tells you. Hurts the tree. Eventually, the hole is deep enough.
Yeah, this is Johnny Appleseed.
I like this as a continue button.
Yeah.
Continue. No. Bear witness. Press X to bear witness. But not, right?
Yeah.
He stoops to the ground and lowers the pup into the earth. Tears flow freely. I'll see him again in heaven, he tells you. Our souls are bound by love. He wipes his eyes. I don't think I can bear to stay here, though. Maybe I'll sit out again.
Wasn't Johnny Appleseed about feeding the world?
I think so, yeah. Like his the story being that it's like you go out and like he went out and he's like, I'm gonna plant apple trees everywhere so everyone will have things to eat.
I thought that was it.
Yeah. Do you want to stay on the north side? And
Let's head into the south. Let's cross the regional
Mason-Dixon?
line. Yeah, I guess the Mason-Dixon line.
They were actually cider apple trees. Oh.
Oh,
Thank you, Tempest.
northeast. We're now in the south.
I love that that it's like the designation, right? The split, the line split is not. They don't draw it along the borders of the.
Oh, it's between Maryland and Pennsylvania.
Yeah.
Okay.
Man, the change in the music. Same song, different
He's
music.
small
Yeah.
for his age. Boy of 13 or so, sitting on an upturned bucket by the side of a tiny wedge of farmland. The dog, as though by contrast, is massive. An enormous yellow-brown mutt. He's called Rover, the boy explains.
Paul says he can't come with us.
Okay, yeah. Applejack was cleaner than water.
West.
You notice the Model A truck on the yard, piled high with furnishings and trunks and bags and knots of rope to tie it all together. And upon all that, too, yet more dust and grit. With one toe tip, he scratches a parabola on the dead, dry ground.
Pa says we can't afford to feed Rover no more.
You can't tell where the blonde of the dog's coat ends and the omnipresent dust begins. Same goes for the boy's hair.
Will you take him?
Yeah, we'll take the dog.
Okay, let's do it.
Rover follows you eagerly after you feed him the tiniest sliver of jerky. But a few hours later, he snaps to attention, as though hearing some distant noise your ears can't catch. The last you see of him are the markings left by his dirty pelt on the leaves of the underbrush.
There's a story off on the horizon. I love the sky. I love the 5-pointed stars in the sky.
Faded shotgun houses sit in rows under the tall shadows of smokestacks. A worker in full uniform hollers from a porch. "Hey, traveler! Throw me inside. Got some literature here."
What's a shotgun house?
I don't know.
Like this sentence.
Yeah.
This entire sentence is really good.
Like,
Or not these two sentences, or three, four sentences.
yeah, just this little paragraph.
This paragraph. Yeah, that's the word.
Yeah, we'll go with that. But still, faded shotgun houses sit in rows. I'm like, a shotgun house? Is it like, it's an older style building? Is it just that
Okay.
it's put together so fast?
Yeah. Maybe, yeah.
Small row house built by a company to house workers.
Oh, okay.
You can shoot a shotgun through the front to the back door.
Huh.
Wow. All right. Yeah, row house. I mean, a row house.
Okay.
All identical, but yeah. Shotgun is a house with a single hallway straight down the middle. Okay.
Okay. So
As
kind
you
of
shut the
flimsy,
door,
too.
Yeah.
The man glances out the window and draws the shades. "Landlord toss you out? Ha! Don't mind me. It's none of my business." He pries up a floorboard with a crowbar.
What kind of literature are you talking about?
You glance
I'm
over
assuming
the
Union.
man's shoulder to see inside the compartment. Canned goods, a pile of leaflets, the wood stock of a rifle. He replaces the board and stands. He hands you a can of whole potatoes, then a leaflet which reads, "No evictions, no fascists, no hunger." Headed back to the shop, but we'll have a Bible meet soon.
Yeah, all right.
Yeah.
Bible meet. You don't know James 5:1 by heart. Learn it.
Beach.
That's our favorite
We're
scripture.
gonna find out. Because I sure as hell don't know the Bible.
Read it once in high school.
Warning to rich oppressors.
Ha.
All right. New International Version says, "Now listen, you rich people, weep and wail because of the misery that is coming on you."
What's the KGV
Let's see if I can find
or
it.
KJV?
KJV. Hang on. New King James Original.
Original.
KJV. Done. Go to now, ye rich men, weep and howl for your miseries that shall come upon you.
Huge storm, this farmer gasps, pointing to the clouded horizon. We gotta get the produce indoors before the fields wash out. Can you help? You and his family strip the fields of vegetables. When the rain hits, you're all safe inside, and you've got some coins in your
It's
pocket.
not bad.
I would assume the soundtrack is available on like Bandcamp.
It's on Spotify, as I
Spotify?
saw somebody say
Okay.
earlier, so. Silenctone subscribed for 41 months in a row. Thank you very much. Captain Corrales subscribed for 18 months in a row. Subs for Stories, a fair trade. And Paracto subscribed for 43 months in a row. Thank you to all three of you.
Oh wow, a gospel version?
Wow. And Lyra the Mighty just subscribed.
We need a sixth.
She
A
told you,
seance.
beckoning
Okay.
from the steps of a great dark mansion. And just like that, you found yourself sitting with strangers around a velvet-draped table. Her voice is reedy and high, modulated by the tight collar of her Victorian dress. Your host keeps her eyes closed as she beseeches the spirits of the dead. But everyone else around the table lets one lingering, awkward glance bounce around between them. You sense they're just about done humoring her when it happens. A deep, nasty thump beneath the table. The whole table starts to shake, threatening to lift right off the ground. And then, the staid candle flames start flickering like mad, casting ghastly shadows on the walls. And then, a viciously cold wind cuts through the parlor like sharpened ice. The damned candles are dancing in mid-air around you now, singeing a hair here and there off the coiffed heads of these well-heeled guests. You notice your host across the table has her eyes open wider than they should go. A rivulet of blood dripping from her nose.
We need a story for the wheel, don't we?
Yeah, we don't have a wheel story. Let's see where this goes.
When you come to your senses, sunrise has begun to creep in. The parlor is empty, but for you and the woman in the old-fashioned dress, who slumped dejectedly over the table.
He didn't show up. All that sound and fury, and no sign of his spirit.
I would expect more in the Carolinas, but I don't see any stories on the horizon.
It might be one of those things that if we come back up this way again.
I love the whistling minigame. That's so good.
Yeah.
That's so good.
No fence, gate, or sign marks the entrance to the cemetery. Just a moment ago, you weren't surrounded by graves, and now you are. How long have you been stepping on dead folks, fully unaware? A wood board, bleached white. Unknown. The word was painted on black by a steady hand, each letter signed with a flourish. Whoever made this memorial had more compassion than money.
We have lots of tower stories. Maybe we need another sun story.
Yeah.
You're already quiet, so maybe it's silly. But you instill that silence with intent. What else could someone do?
That's so good.
Yeah.
You instill that
Silence with intent.
A sparrow calls. Seems birds don't have much respect for the dead. You notice the grave marker isn't dug into the ground, just propped up on a tree. Looks nicer now, but unmoored as these markers are. This grave, in front of this tree, does this memorial even belong to it?
Oh, good.
A sign in town says a farmer is hiring for the sugarcane harvest. A bag-eyed man drives you and 10 hungry strangers out into the cane, where he leaves you. Everyone gets a hatchet, but no instruction. The foreman is missing for some reason.
Judgment?
Nobody is sure what to do.
Huh.
A young man in a red jacket stuffs all the hatchets in his pack. "This is stupid," he says. "I'm leaving. You can get $5 for a nice axe like this." He marches off into the cane, and others follow. "Don't!" a young woman shouts after them. "It's not right."
I think she's right.
Yeah.
The thief left some hatchets behind, so you and the 3 chumps left start chopping cane. It's brutal work. None of you know what you're doing. "Keep going," the girl calls. Her hands are bleeding, and her face is bright with sweat. Soon, her cane is piled high.
Chop, chop, chop.
What do we have if not each other?
Sometime after noon, the truck rolls up with a boozy foreman riding shotgun. "Good work," he croaks. The girl wipes her blood-pinked hands on her apron to take her pay, but doesn't notice the crumpled body in the back of the truck, or the hatchets heaped beside it.
History's first recorded Fortnite stream. Jesus. DJ H cheer with 250 bits. You spit a fine yarn, friends. Thank you, DJ.
Did we kill that man? No. Were we responsible? Yeah.
You just missed the story about a man who stole a bunch of hatchets and what happened to him. So that's really good. You might like this.
What this?
I really want to do this on Talking Simulator.
Oh,
This is
yeah?
where the water tastes like wine.
I have no idea what that is.
It's a story where you lose a game of poker
Uh-huh.
with a god.
And you're pressed into service.
Yeah, and he sends you on a task,
Uh-huh.
which is wandering the United States, listening to
Gathering.
people's stories and telling them.
So they grow in the telling.
Yeah. You know how you sprint in the game? You whistle. It's a rhythm mini game.
You would really like this. Do you want
Yeah.
to sit in on this for a bit?
You want to?
Hang on.
You should. You really
The voice
should.
acting is just like top tier.
Yeah.
These fellows are lounging in the front of a half-finished office building, taking their lunch break. Hey, one calls, waving a hand. Rick was telling us the story. Listen, okay? And you tell us if it's bullshit or not. Rick, a credulous-seeming fellow, starts telling you a story about the boy whose shiftless father left him alone in the woods. You realize it's the story of the boy who ran away with his father, but changed in a few major ways. So it's definitely part bullshit, right? But it's also a little real.
Just like every story.
It's not bullshit.
It's no bullshit.
So what you do is you gather your stories, and they get you can usually sort the story into one of two kinds that are like there's 16, 20 major tarot cards that are used to divide up the story types. So like you can decide whether a story is going to be a story about the tower, which is a story about like destruction, or a story about the world, which is a story about like wholeness.
Desires and
Yeah, right. And then you fill up your grid with stories that have different characters, and then you'll encounter people on your travels who are like, "Hey, tell me a story. Tell me a funny story. I need to hear a sad story. I need to hear a happy story." So when you tell people stories, they will tell them, and then you'll encounter this, where this is a story we told. I think this is a story we told Quinn,
Yeah, I think so.
and now we're hearing it again.
Yeah, because we told it to somebody else, then they'll tell it to somebody else too.
This is not a new haircut. I'm just incredibly sweaty.
Half the group groans. "How the hell is that supposed to be a real story?" exclaims the man who waved you down. "You're all the most gullible pieces of shit I've ever met." The other half of the group, vindicated, shares a bottle of pop with you.
What?
Yeah.
What?
Now it says story grew in the telling.
You're so big.
Yeah.
We're a deathless spirit wandering the land.
What the fuck? This is so stylish.
Yeah. And as you move between regions of the United States, the song stays the same.
No.
But the music style changes.
Yeah.
It's so
Apparently
good.
in the Southwest it's in Spanish.
Oh my god! Like they thought a lot about the style of this.
This is so like thoughtful and careful.
So this is a hobo.
Yeah.
And when we can't hear, we'll recover some exhaustion. But they're all different characters.
Evening there. You looking for a sermon or just a chat? Don't really matter, frankly. First thing I ever learned behind the pulpit is that every homily is just a conversation. Ain't as one-sided as you might think, either. Preachers
Oh, did
ain't
Austin
separate.
walk? I didn't
They're cowboys.
watch. Did Austin
They
Walker
gotta
write
run
this?
the
Yeah.
front, keep them directed without fencing them in. So how about you take a seat and guide us somewhere? Hey, do you have any spooky campfire tales? Feels appropriate out here, right?
I have a hell of a lot of ghost stories, let me tell you what. We just came out of the Northeast.
Oh, what the fuck? Bondage, traps, and freedom. Choice, morality.
So, for example, in Authority, we have this story that we found in Maine of these two women being arrested for bootlegging. The Anonymous Graveyard.
Oh, we gotta do that creepy mill at some point, I think, too. Yeah.
Yeah. Is the Creepy Mill a ghost story?
I mean, it's creepy. I don't know if it's a ghost story, but we were.
This has to be the story of the. He wants a scary story. So I think.
A winged goat?
Yeah, the Jersey Devil.
I don't know.
It's a cryptid.
Yeah.
No shit.
It's a goat with leathery bat wings.
Caca!
Or maybe you'd like the story of the Hessian. The white deer, maybe? But yeah, the Hessian is like...
Yeah, we haven't told that to anyone. Or we only told it once, I think, so far.
Yeah, we haven't heard this one back yet.
Yeah. We should do that. I think he would like the idea of a man who's bound to the,
Oh, you could rattle a congregation's bones, I bet. Bondage? Yeah. Met my daddy's daddy once. One time is all I needed to know that some chains ain't ever coming off you. Don't matter what sort of proclamation a white man in a suit makes. You must have seen some pretty wild stuff on the road. What's the most exciting thing you've seen?
That man who died?
The man we killed?
Yeah, the man we inadvertently killed. I don't know if that's maybe what
I
we
think
want to
that's
go
a
with.
sad story.
Yes, it is.
The seance is a sad story, I think.
Exciting.
Well, I mean, the bootleggers is an exciting story.
Yeah, I say we do that.
But do we have another one that
How much
we
shooting is
haven't
there?
told?
There's no shooting ultimately.
Yeah, they're just standing outside their shack while it's getting tossed by the fuzz.
Yeah,
Oh.
we got threatened by the fuzz actually
Yeah.
because they asked for a cigarette and we walked up and all the cops came in like, hey, maybe you need to move along, and it's like,
Okay.
maybe I do. You're right.
Powerful story, mister.
Yeah, we hopped a Prius in Boston. A thrilling story.
And so every time we
The Thunderbird people? No, we've already told that one a
Yeah.
couple of times, and it's come back to us, leveled up. So we want to tell, like, the Leatherman is a funny story.
What a unique idea for a game.
I know, isn't it great?
because it doesn't also tell you what the story is.
You have to remember.
You have to remember it, and then you have to be able to like relate it back to somebody and be like, this should hopefully be the kind of story you want to hear.
People.
Sure, let's do it.
That's like,
I swear I ain't heard a story good as that in a long minute.
Yes. So his eye has unlocked, which means we're now friends.
yeah.
I'm listening.
And that
Freedom?
means
That means we
I
get
have
his
now.
story, which is a wild card story.
and then if we meet him again, which you can, we'll tell him more stories, and then he will give us more of his stories back, and we can like keep telling it.
I hear it a lot. You give the best sermons I ever heard, Brother Jimmy. Why don't you become a pastor and start your own church?
Fuck that shit.
Well, I like the freedom. Jesus didn't preach to the Canaanites alone after all. So no church or temple or praise house for me. My congregation is America itself.
So you're a freelancer.
Lately, my journey's been pretty ordinary. Just walking church to church. What about you? Been on any adventures?
Now we can tell him anything.
Yeah, because we've unlocked it. So if there's something we want to see later on, like leveled up, we can tell him anything.
So white stories have been leveled,
Okay.
right? Or no, those are just selected.
I think they're just selected. Okay. You
I want to
tell
know what
the
the Pigeon Keeper actually is. I want to know how people react to the Pigeon Keeper story.
Yeah. Okay.
Because we haven't told anyone that story
Like
yet.
it's technically a story of love, so I'm interested to see how that grows.
Well,
oh
what
yeah.
kind of love story is it?
The two lighthouse keepers in Portland.
Yeah.
It's two men who live together, and it's the sweetest thing because
Yeah, it's actually just a really sweet, kind of nice, pleasant place.
anecdote. Yeah. They built kind of a haven for themselves in this lighthouse.
That's so cute. I had pigeons.
Huh. That one's trying to be scary, right? Don't work on me, I guess.
Piss.
Love? Well, I've had long,
Okay, so that's a
cold
scary
nights,
story
and hot ones too.
about love.
Paris
Okay.
was. Well, the point is, I'm the same as anyone else. But nah, haven't settled down yet. Too busy with another sort of love.
Agape?
Lately, my journey's been pretty ordinary. Just walking, church to church. What about you? Been on any adventure?
So this family walks into a talent agency, and they say they have this act. And the talent agent is like, well, show it to me.
Is this an adventure story?
I've never. What is Little Ben's struggle?
That's the minor.
Oh right, yeah.
Okay, was it you that posted that tray with the pickles and cornbread and...
Oh yeah.
No. It was the Brooklyn. Why? It was an article in Vice that was, why is Brooklyn barbecue taking over the world? And it was like the saddest fucking tray of barbecue you've ever seen in your life.
Yeah.
Right, with like the 2 grocery store rolls and like the tray of 2 pickles and then like a pile of like not terribly impressive looking brisket.
Yeah.
And a mason jar full of like
Stout?
beer.
Yeah.
Right. And did you see the one that Andrew posted? Holy shit. I was like
Anyway.
ready to put on my hat and be like, I'm going for a walk. I might be sometime.
So people were asking me about, like, I don't know what picture you're talking about on Checkpoint. And I'm like, oh, it's the Brooklyn Barbecue Loss Edit.
Yeah, the Loss Edit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah.
I haven't seen those new Steam Hams videos.
Oh.
I heard they're very good.
There's, yeah. The more recent ones I've seen have been like, there was one where it's like an edit to make it like Evangelion. Like the opening and everything.
Oh my god.
And I'm like,
Yeah.
well, that's okay, whatever. I mean, the problem is you get what they're going for immediately. So it's like anything I watch, like AMV style now, where it's like AMV Hell style, where it's like you see the joke and you're like, I get the joke. I need to watch 10 seconds of that. I don't need to watch 5 minutes of it.
There's some that work like that, but the Metal Gear Solid one was truly next level.
Yeah, it really was.
It's difficult. Because
like it really grokked both of the things,
the
right?
Nier Automata one was like accurate, but really fucking boring.
Yeah. There was one where they.
It's a thrilling story.
There
The
was
Seance, maybe?
Yeah.
There was a documentary about the Aristocrats joke. It was quite funny.
I really enjoyed that doc actually.
God, it has the part where.
Sorry, that kind of thing don't scare
No,
me
no, no.
anymore.
I was thinking
That's
about
what you're going for.
Gilbert
Love?
Godfrey.
Forget about
He
love.
was trying to tell some
Think
jokes
about
like right in the
necessity.
post like 9/11.
Yeah.
And people were like, "That's too soon." He's like, "Well, I guess I'm telling this one."
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
everybody just fell to pieces.
You fucking booed me, so you get the Aristocrats now.
Yeah.
Holy shit! He really went ham.
I
on
love
it.
that was the impetus for that too, where it was like his thing was, okay, you know
See,
what?
you
I'm
focus
gonna
on
tell
what
everybody
you end
this
up
joke,
dreaming
this
about.
secret
What
joke
if
that
scenarios,
nobody except
but
comedians
ain't
knows about.
nothing
Now everybody
promised.
gets to hear
You
it.
hear me?
And then where everyone's like, what the fuck just happened?
What's he
And-
doing? No, he's doing the thing.
Yeah, and all the
Yeah.
comics were like, is he seriously telling? We don't tell that to people. That's like a
Yeah.
shibboleth.
The forbidden joke.
Yeah. That's like the engineering oath.
Yeah.
Right?
Well,
Right? Like when you become a stand-up comic, you hold up the chain and you get a ring and you hear the Aristocrats.
Yeah.
Right?
And then everybody knows.
it's a shame he's such a prick on Twitter, though.
Yeah.
Gilbert Godfrey?
Think on
Oh
what
yeah.
you
Did you
Yeah,
see
apparently
right
he's a
after the
massive
quake?
shithead.
Yeah.
Okay. I don't follow him and haven't seen any of
No,
his.
you shouldn't.
Okay, good.
He had some things to say during the quake in Japan that were
Anyway, why don't you tell me a scary
well,
story?
they were tasteless.
You
Oh,
must have
well.
heard some good ones.
Okay, scary story.
Scary stories.
We've told that once before. We haven't got it back yet.
Yeah. We're not getting many of our stories back.
What do you think about the light from the sky in? I mean, is that a scary one we want to spread?
I
Is
think that's
the-
more of like a spiritual story almost.
Okay.
Waking up in the mill?
Yeah, the mill we haven't told anyone yet. I don't think.
Yeah.
They weren't even funny jokes.
No, I
Yeah,
bet.
no, they weren't.
Oh, you got me for a second with that one.
No, we've definitely told the Jersey Devil before.
Yes, we did do that.
The past.
I think we told that to
My earliest memories of my mother and father
to Dixon.
teasing each other, laughing about something I didn't quite understand. Putting on voices, playing games. This was back before she passed. Well, I gotta get moving on. I have a sermon to give in the morning, and the church is a long night of walking that way.
That's a long way. He's gonna outside Georgia.
Man, his dogs are gonna be barking.
Woof.
He's only got to essentially cross an area the size of France.
Yeah. Yeah.
Eh.
Better
Walk
start
like
walking.
you're blessed, child. Cause even if you ain't, that's the only way you'll find your holy self.
So you can hitchhike in this game. You can also take a train and it'll just take you from city to city,
Neat.
which is very cool. So if you want to get somewhere, so you can spread more of this around. Like, I'm not sure. I'm
All
sure
right.
the
Oh.
game has an end point, but it doesn't feel like it's obvious.
Yeah. So I guess we should call it there?
Oh,
Yeah.
wow, you are really creepy looking.
Yeah.
That's you, right?
Yep.
I imagine, yeah.
All right.
And I don't think anyone sees us in a game like this, but that's who we are.
Yeah.
Because we've walked into
You probably
many
look like
places.
he had one of them sort of ordinary faces. I
Yeah.
don't remember what he looked like.
Yeah.
You know, big hat, tall collar.
Yeah, it's like in Dead Like Me, what all the Reapers look like. They're just super fucking plain.
All right. So we're going to call the stream there. This has been New Day Tuesday on the Loading Ready Run Network. We've been playing Where the Water Tastes Like Wine, and we think it's really good.
Yeah,
so I'm gonna go home and play this some more. Yeah, we might see some of this on a home stream. But next up, we have James, who's going to be playing PUBG on one more. So yeah, that'll be fun.
Yeah.
It's always a good time.
Thank you to all of our subs.
Yeah.
And to everyone who cheered bits today. And if you are also feeling it, click that follow button, because that's good for us and it's good for you too. You know when we go live, and we know that you are interested in our channel.
Yeah.
And that also check out the Patreon at patreon.com/loadingreadyrun. Look at that. Literal Lucifer just subscribed for another 5 glorious months. Thank you, Literal Lucifer.
Yeah.
Glad to have you back.
But yeah, we'll see you in the future. And until then, have a good one, everyone.